All right. I'm going to go ahead and just go through some of this stuff. So I got a little shipment in from Paper Republic today. This is my preferred brand, or my brand of choice for all my drawing supplies in terms of paper and portfolios. I've shown them all quite a bit, but this is my daily carry, my pocket size one. This fits in my back pocket. Pretty much fits in all of my jeans or dress pants, so it's an easy carry. I'll go through some of that in a second, but I was going to show, let me move this out of the way. So this is what they sent me. Paper Republic is based in Vienna, and they've been really big supporters of all of my art and kind of the whole process of developing my skills, and really supportive. It's run by a lot of really sweet people. It seems like everybody that they bring onto their team is sort of hired not just for skills, but also just the personal touch and how much they care. But anyway, so let's see. This is actually new to me. I've never tried one of these, but this is one of the new pens they designed. It looks like the box got a little bit crunched up in shipping, but the pen itself is totally fine. So when I was looking through all these, I will say I kind of wanted the brass pen, but I don't know, I've got a thing about cognac. It's pretty much the color of all my drawing journals from them, and just the fact that they made a metal cognac pen. So this is aluminum, and it's a needle point. So just take the wax off there. So these I've used similar refills in the Oto Japanese pens. It's not quite a fine point, but it's finer than your average ballpoint pen, which just by comparison, so you can see the difference here. So like my daily carry pen is a Parker Jotter. It's kind of, I guess for lack of a better term, it's a historical pen. These have been around, I think, since the 50s. They've taken on different forms, so they've had some that are plastic or acrylic bodies with a metal end on it, and these are known more specifically for having a really springy actuator. So it's got a really hard click, you know, it's a classic pen for writers and a bunch of different professions. If you watch a lot of movies, you'll see that most like old school detectives or any sort of like Western characters carry these. I can think of a few examples. Like if you watch Yellowstone, this is one of the pens that Casey signs the contract for when he signs over a land deed. They typically always have the arrow clip on them, and you can get these in different body types. This one is stainless steel, so that's my daily carry. It usually lives on my my journal, so it fits in my pen loop here. But the pen that Paper Republic sent is an aluminum body, and it's cognac, so it matches all of my journal leather, so it's kind of modeled after that. This one, I believe, is a soft push, so there's not like a hard click, which I like a lot of the time. I do love a Parker Jotter. It's good for, you know, kind of playing with and having that hard click once you know the actuator's in place. But these are nice if you're, you know, turning it off and on a lot and you don't want to annoy people, or if you just want like a stealthier thing. So if I'm sketching in public with these, I kind of like that. It doesn't draw as much attention. So far, I haven't drawn with this yet. I did pull it out of the box earlier to see if it was damaged in the shipping, because this thing got a little bit crunched up. But it's completely fine so far. So that's a cool little detail there. That's the Paper Republic. I believe it's a Griffin. Just that right there. It's kind of hard to see on this camera. But I'll try and do some ink sketches this week. I haven't really been drawing a lot in ink lately, but this is I don't know, inspires me to do a little bit of like urban sketching, and maybe I'll go back to some scribble method. We'll see. So that's one cool thing. These are the ribbon kits, which I've been curious about these. I prefer the more muted tones. Typically they send like bright colors, so like red, green, blue, black, orange. They used to do pink, but these are more like a sort of like an earth tone set. And this is the ribbon kit, so typically on all of their notebooks they have bands and ribbons that go through the spine that hold the books, and then there's the ones that close it so it won't come open in a bag or in your pocket. Standard, they usually come with just one band, but I always double band because I tend to carry a pretty thick build out, so I have quite a few books and random things in there, so I like it to be a little bit tighter. This is their drawing book, so a little note from there. Looks like Marcel's who packed my package. Thanks, Marcel and Paper Republic. So this is the XL drawing book. It's close to like an A5 size. These open in a complete gatefold, so it lays flat. So you don't have to hold anything down, and you rarely have to clip your pages if you're painting or drawing, which is why I prefer these. You can watercolor in these, you can use fountain color or fountain pen ink, you can use graphite. All the drawings on my channel that are done with graphite are done in these books. And this is a refill for what they sent me, so I'm gonna go ahead and open that. This isn't exactly an unboxing because I have already opened it. So this is the Cognac A5 portfolio. This is kind of the one size in their brand that I haven't gotten until now, just so you can see a comparison. So this is the same color. They both start, or this one started this color. This is Cognac after carrying it in my back pocket or a jacket pocket for close to 3 years. So it changes color quite a bit just from being in contact with, like holding it, or this side's darker because it usually rides like facing the inner side of my pocket. But those are the same Cognac, it's just that this one has a patina and this one is brand new. So let's see. And I took it over just a little while ago to Top Drawer, which is one I've referred in some of my other videos to a company that I used to work for that introduced me to Paper Republic. Top Drawer is who I used to work with, and so that's how I found this company, Paper Republic. But the location that I worked at always had a debosser and embosser, and so I wanted to get my initials put on it. And so I went over there and saw one of my old friends and had my initials here. And it's a heat, so it's funny, at Top Drawer they call it a deboss, at Paper Republic they call it an emboss. It's always a funny topic of debate, but it's branded on there, so there's a little heat as well with the press. And then it's something that I started doing a long time ago. I used to offer it to people when they would get journals after they saw what mine looked like. I would always do my initials right here and then flip it over. And this, you can see, gets really dark. It's actually because I pull it out of my pocket by that spot, so my thumb is often on the lettering there. But I wanted to kind of continue on with the same tradition of like the name on the back, initials on the front. I actually started doing that when I was still traveling for a living. If people asked what my name was and we were in a loud area because I was working with bands, I would say Trevor and they would say Robert or whatever, and then whatever they heard. And so I put this on here before one of the tours that I tour managed, so when people couldn't understand, a lot of the time I have a notepad in here, so I'm writing down information or getting, you know, stuff that we would need at the venues, and so I would just show that to people, which is kind of like carrying around a little business card. And inevitably we'd talk about art and drawings. Okay, so this is also what I mean, how I wanted the more muted tone ribbon kit, because I feel like it kind of suits these a little better, especially with how these patina and age. The Cognac always comes with a bright orange. Maybe it's because I'm from Texas and lived in Austin for a long time. I don't really dig orange. It just makes me think of UT or Longhorns, or I don't know. I don't dislike it, but it doesn't really click for me. So I wanted to get these natural ones to rerun the bands. And then I'll show you how these work. So this is the A5 size. It's the smaller version of what I've drawn my large pencil portraits in. And so this comes with all of them. It's basically, if you scan that QR, it basically takes you to a video and shows you like the quality of the leather and all those good things. This comes in every single Paper Republic. This is a plain paper. I don't usually use these because it's such a thin refill, but I think for this one I'll make this what I sketch with the new pen that they sent me. I'll use that in this book for a while because I don't really want to mix my graphite drawings and my ink drawings. But what I'm going to do while we're on this live is I'm going to build this out with the different bands and the setup that I prefer, so you can see how I set these up. I like to double band everything. So what I mean by that is, instead of this single band making a loop, because this is just one band run through here, through both holes, I'm going to cut this off and replace it with one of these, and then I'm going to change the outer band and add a double band to the outside. And then I'll put these refills back in there. And I'm not going to draw tonight, but I will be drawing tomorrow morning. And for the next 8 days, I will be live at 10 a.m. Every morning to draw in various sizes, just to show you the difference in these things. So this basically fills the entire picture. This is the A4 version. So let me find, yeah, like, so this is from the last series that I was drawing. This is just the size up from what I got today, but same paper. It's 150 GM paper, gram, whatever you want to call it. So these are all my graphite drawings in here. Let's see, not all of them, but all the portraits from the last series. And this is another one of those books that lays completely flat because of the way that it's bound. So it's perfect for drawing. You can watercolor in it, you can use ink. And then we're almost caught up. And this is the one I finished today. So it's a young Tom Petty. Okay, so just so you can see, this is also, it's an A4 portfolio. And then this is the A5 portfolio. So that's the size difference. And I wanted this one for a few reasons. I wanted to have something for when I travel that fits in a bag a little easier. And when I go in to talk with galleries or show like art in any specific places, you know, like art spaces or restaurants, I love carrying this, but if I'm on a short trip, I don't love to worry about this in my bigger bag, and I don't love to carry like a big bag of fur under the seat. So I wanted to get the A5 series so I'd have something that's a little bit more pocketable. And now I can draw in 3 official sizes in the refill books that I prefer. Because I don't like to mix and match brands. I pretty much exclusively draw and use Paper Republic at this point. Of course, I have some books that have been gifted, you know, like Moleskines and things like that, but I don't really like the waxiness or the flimsiness of their paper, and their drawing paper is not my favorite. So I pretty much always stick with Paper Republic for that reason. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and swap these out. Let's see, I don't have scissors in here, which I should have thought about. It's all right. I've got this knife actually from Top Drawer as well. It's a traditional Japanese knife. All right, so out with the orange. And then I hadn't really thought about it until this moment what color I would put in here. So when you get these ribbon kits, if you're looking for anything Paper Republic, you know, brand, if you're getting a leather portfolio, these are, I think, like one of my favorite little things to get. Or if you're giving these as a gift, I always send an extra pack of these. The ones that are untied like this, they go through the spine. That's what actually holds the refills in the book. And then these that are pre-knotted, those are what go through the center piece here, the center hole, and that's what holds your portfolio or your journal closed. Let's see, unless anyone wants to comment, looks like there's a few people watching. If anyone wants to comment what color you think should go in here, I'm going to pick probably this sort of copper colored one. We'll see how long this lasts. That's the other thing though, is that there's not any duplicates, which I didn't think about since I like the double band on the outside. Maybe I'll order another one of these so I can do a double band in the same color. But for now, I'm gonna go with this. I guess it's not copper, it's more of a champagne. I'd be curious to see what they call it. Okay. And I've effectively lost everyone that was watching, so nice. Okay. It's been a little while since I've done all this. I used to do this a few times a day at my old day job. I'm sure y'all can see it. Oops. Basically just want these to slightly overlap the center hole. And with these, I tend to carry pretty heavy refills because I'm always using the Paper Republic drawing book. So you can kind of see it's a little thicker and heavier. I tend to tie these a little bit tighter. I might do it just slightly looser this time so it doesn't bow the book at all. But I am going to run a double ribbon through here. So I think I'll do this other one right here. So I'm trying to keep it where you can see everything. And if you're watching this because you also have one of these, something that pretty much everyone has sitting around, it's just a mechanical pencil or something like that. If you can't get the ribbons through there by hand, you can always push them through with one of these. They do get a little bit cluttered once you're, let's see, actually, here, let me, rusty. Okay. I guess this is like journal ASMR or jewelry clinking on a desk. There we go. Okay, so there's one in. The reason I tied that first is because you can grab it from this side and pull it slightly out of the way to feed the other band or ribbon through there. And this is what I mean, is that sometimes it's actually easier to just push it through with one of these. Out of practice, I used to do this so much that I could just talk and not really pay attention to it. These were my favorite thing to sell when I worked at the store. Oh. Swap around to the other side. It's a little less frayed. Sure, this is riveting. People are bound to be excited about this. I've talked about these books quite a bit because it is one of my favorite drawing supplies. I used to have stacks of half-used or unused books around, like drawing books, Moleskines, different brands, hardbacks, softbacks. And I think that it was a pretty direct reflection of how unfocused my drawing was. And then I started carrying one of these, the pocket-sized one that I've shown quite a few times. This guy. I started carrying this on a daily basis. And because I always had it on me, it became incredibly natural to, like, you know, sit around and fill time doodling or doing little drawing exercises. And then my drawing skill leveled up rapidly. And it was just really from having it on me all the time. And I really do attribute a lot of my rapid progress in different styles to having it readily available. But I also just like the system. When you put a refill in, it still feels like you're carrying the exact same journal instead of starting a new one all the time. You can carry multiple books in them as well, which is nice. So if you're drawing in a few different styles, you don't have to like mix and match. It's a little less chaotic. Okay. See if I can just cut this a little bit. Wow. I think it's also just the fact that I'm trying to be mindful of filming this, but just making it a little bit more of a challenge. Just need a little bit to get through. Like I said, I'm sure this isn't that exciting to watch, but the fun part is next. There we go. One more of these painfully awkward silences. Just gonna trim that one more time, get some of the excess thread off. But what I was saying earlier about how having one of these kind of leveled up my drawing, it's really just about having tools you're excited to use and something that suits your needs. And these for me have been exactly that. So this will be, so the main ones I carry are all these cognac color. Now I have all three sizes that they make. I guess there's one other one. There's one called the XL. It's slightly smaller than this, but it holds the same refills. And then I have an olive green one that I really just kind of got on. It was sort of a fluke. One of the guys messed up a deboss, so they branded the wrong thing on it, and it was going to sit in a folder or in like a bucket of those and become like a tester, and I took the green one for myself. So I have one which I used to use specifically for creating like the curriculum for private lessons, I would have like pages for different students and different projects, but ultimately I had to stop carrying so many of them because I had 2 of them on me all the time. So I just need one pocket size. And then I think I have I think they call it chestnut. I have one of those. I might have given that to someone as a gift. I can't really remember. Like I said, I have a lot of Paper Republic stuff. It does feel a little bit like they started using a different size for these. Okay, almost there. There it is. Personally, I'm not too worried about scuffing this thing up because eventually you want them to have patina and marks and, you know. There we go. With these, because I carry the heavier refills, I do want it to bow a little bit. I don't want to do it too much because eventually when it softens up, you'll get sort of like a wrinkled, like it'll pull in on the leather like that where it creates an indentation, which doesn't hurt it. It's just kind of an aesthetically unpleasant detail. Yeah, sorry, I'm probably not doing the best job of keeping this centered, but I also need to concentrate on what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, and then I'll do the same combination for the outer bands. So like I was saying with the ribbon kits, the ones that are pre-knotted like that, that's the one that goes through the center of the book. That's what closes it when you're carrying it around. That one's quite a bit easier to get in. Okay. So there it is with the new bands on it. I am going to do a double band on this. I think I'll do the same colors that I put through the spine. And then maybe I'll order another ribbon kit and double up on all matching colors so it's all uniform. These are a little trickier when you're running them through the spine, but what I find is the easiest is to pull this out a touch. And same as the other, you can actually grab it from both sides like that and pull it out of the way, so then you can run the second one through. There we go. And I'll trim all the excess off of these. The knots will still be there, but I tend to cut those off, and then once you carry it for a little while, it doesn't really affect it all that much. Okay, next step would be adding the refills. So again, this is the XL drawing book. They're bound where they'll lay completely flat when you open them. And it's, again, this is all Paper Republic. So these are my preferred drawing book for pencil, any kind of ink, fountain pen, all the drawings that I do, ballpoint, these are great. You can also watercolor in these. I know that they have an official watercolor book, but I prefer this because I don't do that heavy of a color. So basically what you look for with these, there's going to be orange threads every so often, and what I'm looking for is the orange threads that are closer to the middle of the book. See, that's actually the center, but I want it to be on the thread. Sorry, I know y'all can't see this exactly. That'll do. Okay, then I take, for these thicker refills, these lines on the outer holes, the one here and the one there, they are slightly better for putting a thicker refill, because I'll probably have a few in this. And then, like I said, I don't typically use these. This is one of their blank plain papers, and it's not bound where it'll lay flat. It's more of like your traditional staple spine, so it's just a folded version of that. I'm going to use this to have as like scratch paper for using this pen that they sent me. And you can see a little bit better of a match in terms of the color. So this is the Cognac pen made by Paper Republic, so it matches all the different leather pieces that I have from them. And then you can also see that color comparison again. This is also Cognac as well, and I think it's about 3 years or so that I've had this one. And this is like a daily carry. It's always in my pocket. I pretty much don't leave home without it. That's the same color. It's just this is what a 3-year patina looks like after carrying it by hand or in a pocket. And then this is the Cognac pen. And so I have those two. And then again, I'll show you this one. Oops, sorry for the noise. Hopefully your headphones aren't in. There. So we'll close this guy up. Okay, so it's hard to see how big that one really is because it's kind of filling up most of the frame, but this is an A4, A5, and pocket size, and then the Cognac pen. And that's pretty much those are going to be my daily use Paper Republic. This large one is what all my recent portraits have been drawn in, so they've all been in an A4 size. And I'm going to start a secondary series, so I'll be drawing 2 different series, one in the morning and one in the evening. So this one I'll probably start first thing in the morning since I finished one of the portraits earlier. So I'm going to take this. We'll see if I get all the way through this. Sometimes I just give these to someone else who actually uses the pen refills. And there you have it. And then I'll put all my usual things in here. Typically, like with this, depending on what book I'm carrying, I have my metal ruler, and I tend to put those in this little slide pocket here. I don't tend to carry pens in these because they'll crease up the actual cover and can bend the paper, which a lot of these I cut out and sell or give to people. And so I try to keep only flat things in here. I usually will keep a few like little photos in here. I also, like in this, in the larger one, I have a bunch of crosswords from the Chronicle, and then I usually will keep like another straight guide, like a business card style flat guide. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm really excited to have this thing. I've wanted one for a really long time, so it's nice to have the full series of drawing books. So there it is, the Cognac pile, the Cognac collection. So you can even see the difference in the patina from, like this one's got a little shadow on it, but if you look at these places that aren't as affected, you can see the difference in these 3. This one's done a little bit of traveling with me, usually in a bag. I've had it out like in the elements, like drawn on farms and different places like that. This one in the middle is brand new, so that's the unpatinaed Cognac, and then this is 3 years old, and then the new Cognac pen. Really pleased with all this. And of course there's the ribbon kit that I was showing earlier. So it's all like the more natural colors, which I like. I'm a fan of these muted colors. I'm going to get the same ones for my other books as well. So that's next on the wish list. But if you like any of this stuff, there's a link in my bio and also in this description. And they have 30% off of Paper Republic bundles for some of these exact things. So you can get kind of the whole setup, whether it's for yourself or for a gift. It's in my YouTube bio, it's in bio on all of my Instagram, TikTok, all that. And it's also in the description of this video. So if you're looking for gifts, I always recommend these. It's also like if you struggle to get gifts for some people, getting one of these sort of gives you ideas for the future as well, because these all have different refills that go in here. So they're all on band systems, so you can get like different books that go in on like the drawing books, you know, and they're all in here. So if you know anyone that's like creative or journals a lot, anyone like that, these are always a good gift. And then they have different styles of refills, people who write, for people who paint, for people that draw. It's literally some of my favorite stuff in the world. So yeah, there it is. Cool. Well, I'll be live at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow morning, and I'll start drawing an A5 portrait. So that'll be the first one. If you want to watch that, come back or subscribe. And then again, if you're looking for that link, it's in like every bio and description of all my videos and all my social media. Cool. All right, well, hopefully I'll see some of y'all at 10 a.m. tomorrow while I'm drawing portraits. And before I go, I'll show you. So this is the portrait that I finished this morning. Let's see. Just go ahead and open it. That's what I finished today. So I'll be drawing portraits in this style, but in the A5 size. And so we'll see. I haven't picked out who I'm going to draw tomorrow. If you have any suggestions, I've been drawing musicians lately. I was drawing actors before that. If you have any suggestions, you can comment on any of my videos and I'll get them. Let's see. But pretty much going to do a similar thing in the smaller book, the A5 book. But I might do a little bit more of a scene, or maybe I'll do less of the floating head concept. Yeah, that's all the most current stuff. So that's similar to what I'll be drawing in the other book that I just got. All right, well, I'll be back on at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So subscribe if you want to see more art and journals. Let me know if you have any questions about these or art in general. All right, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see some of y'all in the morning. All right.